Hi, I'm Becky. We're gonna be doing a lived-in balayage look today on this mannequin. Yeah, so I mixed equal parts powder lightener with 20 volume developer. Yeah, so I start the process by sectioning out the front of her hair. So I just take this and clip that away. And then we're gonna start in the back. I first start by taking two little angle sections to give her nice bright pieces around the hairline if she wants to put her hair up in a ponytail. And I always weave and do a little tease, and we'll just softly blend it up. And we'll do the same thing on this next section. Do a little weave and tease. And we'll do one more along the hairline here horizontally. And do the same technique. And weave it. And do a little tease. And the tease creates a really soft blend for the balayage, so you don't see any harsh lines. You just want to make sure every single foil is very saturated with the lightener. We'll kind of work our way up the head in the same pattern to do two angle sections again. And this time I'm going to take a little bit of a heavier weave. And same thing on the side. So there's just a little bit more spacing between the weaves on these next two sections. So do one more horizontal section here. And this will just kind of connect the two sections that you have over on the side here. So this mannequin wants to be pretty light, so we're gonna take her ends just at the very bottom and tease that, and we're just gonna lighten just the ends because it'll give a little bit of a pop of color and she'll be a little bit lighter towards the ends. We're just gonna do that right underneath those last three sections that we did. Then we're gonna skip up the head a little bit. When you're doing balayage, you really want the top pieces to pop. So if we leave some darkness through the bottom here, the pieces that lay over the top of it will pop a little bit more. So we're gonna take these two sections here, do the same thing that we just did on the ends. We're just gonna do a little bit of teasing, just so the ends still have some brightness, but we wanna leave the darkness at the root. Same thing on this side. Let's tease it up. You don't want to have too much hair at the bottom, but it'll just give us a little bit of lightness and dimension. And then just softly blend that up. Okay, you're just gonna take two more diagonal back sections. And these ones we're gonna put a little bit closer to the scalp. So you're just gonna weave those and then place the foil like you would do a traditional highlight. And lighten all the way up to that top. And we'll lock it in place so nothing slips. And same thing on this side. So with these pieces, I still want to keep a little bit of dimension in it, so I'm going to weave it, leave that out because you'll leave a little bit of pop of dark. And then we'll lighten these guys. And do the same thing on this side. And for this top section, we're just going to take kind of a little bit of a medium-sized weave. And we're going to tease this one. And then we're going to feather all the way up to the root. This will give a nice soft blend and give it a little bit more of that lived-in look. And the same thing for these end pieces. I'm going to weave it. Okay, so that's it for the back. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the front. So for these front sections, we're going to look at the mannequin's hairline And she has a pretty steep hairline here, so we're gonna wanna place a foil right there. And she wants some nice bright pieces around her face. So we're gonna weave that, kind of see where it's gonna fall. And this one I'm using the shape of her head to paint on. It'll give a little bit more structure to the foil, make it just a little bit easier. So we're gonna do another piece at just a little bit of a softer angle than that. And so we're gonna do a heavier weave. And then same thing as everything else, we're gonna tease that on up. And around the face, I wanna bring the lightness a little bit higher. So on this side, I'm pulling the lightener up a little bit more, and this one not so much. And same goes for this piece. We're gonna keep it a little bit lighter through there, and then drop it down a little bit on the far side. So we have 3 foils down there, so we're gonna move on to her hairline. Again, she wants a nice bright piece. So we're gonna do just a very subtle, soft angle right at the top there. We're gonna leave this piece out just for a little bit of depth. It'll make the top pop a little bit more. And we're gonna weave that. I'm kind of working my way up the head like this. So you're gonna start at a steeper angle and just slowly flatten it out a little bit more horizontal. And this one I'm just gonna kind of back comb on this far side because we still wanna keep it nice and bright through her face, but we'll have the nice blend over on this side. So I'm gonna grab the front pieces from the last 2 sections, kind of pull them forward like this, and tease up. This will give us a nice pop on the ends right around her face. And then just softly blend up. So again, we're leaving this piece out to give nice depth in the hair. So we're just gonna do 2 more sections on the top. These ones I'm gonna weave the whole thing. I'm teasing this one a little bit more because it lives a little bit further back on the head, whereas these ones we want the nice pops in the front. So when you tease it, it kind of makes the lightener like travel down the strand a little bit more and just softens it out a bit more. And these 2 sections, I'm going to combine them together and then weave it out. Okay, and then we'll go on to the last side. We'll do the same thing here, pretty heavy piece on the front. So on this one we're doing a little bit of a softer angle like we did on the other side. And then bring the lightener higher up around the face, a little bit lower near the back of the head. And take these pieces here. Pull it towards the front of the face. And then again, bring the lightener up a little bit higher in the front, lower in the back. Okay, and then we'll move up to the pieces around her face. Leaving this out again, we're just gonna focus on this front section. And depending on the density of their hairline, you might want to do more sections or less. It really just depends on how much hair they actually have. Next section is just a little bit off the hairline in the front. We'll bring it a little further back. And same on this side, you're just gonna tease a little bit. And a nice tip too, if you ever have any harsh lines, you can take your finger and just kind of spread that up, and that will help soften that line. So we'll take these front sections, not gonna weave anything out because we want them nice and bright. So just tease that up. And just paint on those ends. Even though we're doing a lived-in look, she still wants to be nice and bright around her face. Okay, so we just have 2 more sections through the top. And then this guy, we will weave it and tease it and paint on the ends. Okay, so that is it. I will process this and then we'll rinse it and come back and tone it. Okay. So now I'm going to tone the mannequin. We're gonna do a shadow root at the top with a level 7 and glaze the ends with a level 9. So I'm gonna start with the root area. Just going to apply the color, and same with the highlights. We're gonna keep it only down the hair strand just a little bit in the front and drag it back towards the back of the head, and that'll just give a really nice natural soft look. So these front pieces just a little bit. And with the shadow root, it'll just help soften the line even more of the balayage, give it the most natural look, and give your client a really soft grow out. So with the bottle, I'm just picking up the hair I want to grab, squeezing a little product and working it down with my finger. And it's good to have a little variation in it because balayages aren't perfect. When you have that natural look, it's not perfect, so it can be a little uneven, and that'll just create a little bit of depth at the root. So then once you finish with the root area, I just go ahead and section out the front. And we'll start in the back. You just take your end color, which is about a level 9. And you're just gonna work it through the ends. And it's okay if the 2 toners overlap because that'll create your blend. I always like to blend the 2 by kind of bringing my fingers along it like that. So then you'll move to the sides. And you'll do the same exact thing. Go to our last side. And then once I get everything applied, I just take the wide tooth part of my comb and work it through from root to end, and that helps blend out that root smudge color with the ends and just make sure that everything is really saturated. Okay, and then this is just gonna process for a few minutes and then we'll be back to rinse. Okay. Okay. So I just shampooed after the toner and we're gonna do a blow dry style. I already added a nice hydrating heat protectant to her hair, and then we're gonna put some product in at her root to give her a little bit of volume. And so I'm just sectioning this out and spraying on her root area. I'm gonna rough blow dry it a little bit and then use the round brush at the root to give it that volume, and then we'll go ahead and curl. So now that she's mostly dry, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my round brush and just give it a little bit of boost at the root. So when you blow dry the hair up like I did, you can see the amount of lift and volume that the mannequin gets. And I'm gonna go ahead and go in and curl her hair now. I'm gonna go in with my 1-inch curling iron. And just give some nice beachy waves. We're gonna slide the ends out. And with these curls, I'm gonna alternate directions. So I'm gonna go one away from the face, one towards the face, and just kind of switch it up. It'll give it that most natural look. For the pieces around her face, you always want to curl them away from the face. So I'm still going through and alternating the way that my curls go. But again, once I get to these few sections around the face, I'll make sure I'll always curl them away from the face. We'll repeat the same thing on this side. Okay, so we're gonna finish this mannequin with some dry texture spray. The dry texture spray just kind of helps piece things apart, gives a little bit of that like undone look. And then we'll do a little bit of hairspray. I'm gonna kind of separate the curls with my fingers. As you can see in the back here, because I left the darkness underneath, it makes those highlights pop just a little bit more, but keeps everything still nice and soft, natural. Toned it to have that caramel color. She has these nice bright pieces around her face. But as her hair grows, she'll have a really nice outgrowth because we did the shadow root up top, so it kind of softens that line up there.